It was supposed to be a normal day of classes and activities. Instead, it transformed into the most horrific school shooting to ever take place in the history of the United Kingdom. Hello everyone, my name is Anya, and in this video we're going to take a look into what happened on this day in the year 1996. The Dunblane Massacre. It started off as a normal day on the 13th of March 1996 in Dunblane, Scotland. Parents dropped their children off at Dunblane Primary School, ready for another day of classes. At 9:30 a.m, the kindergarten students of Gwenmere gathered in the gymnasium for PE class. At 9:35 a.m, just as class was about to begin, a man carrying 4 handguns and 700 rounds of ammunition walked into Dunblane Primary School, barged in through the gymnasium doors and shot at the 3 teachers and the students. There was no time to react. Gwenmere and 2 other teachers were shot before the gunman turned his attention to the children. After shooting more than 100 rounds of ammunition into the gymnasium and into a classroom, the gunman took a handgun to his head and shot himself. Emergency services and ambulances arrived at 9:41 a.m. There was utter shock and disbelief as to what had happened. When the parents of the students dropped their children off at school that day, they could never have imagined that they would be receiving phone calls saying that there had been an incident, that something was wrong. By the end of the day, the 13th of March 1996, it was determined that 12 students and 3 adults had been injured and 16 students and 1 teacher had been killed. The children who died were in Gwenmere's kindergarten class. She died alongside her students. The children who died were between the ages of 5 and 6. Little children heading off to school with smiles on their faces, all ready for another day of classes. Probably bursting with excitement, with stories they could tell their parents. One can only imagine the terror that they must have felt. Needless to say, the entirety of Britain fell into shock and mourning. Nobody could understand how this could have happened. The whole world offered support and care for the community of Dunblane. Everyone offered support to families of those who died. Parents who brought their children to school that day, coming to learn that their little one was not coming home. They were children. The perpetrator was eventually identified as 43-year-old Thomas Hamilton. He was known in Dunblane to be a loner, and he was a former Boy Scouts leader. He had been blacklisted and banned from creating any Boy Scouts clubs due to complaints about inappropriate behaviour towards young boys. It was discovered that Hamilton had written letters to the government and even the Queen saying that his reputation had been tarnished. In his home, investigators discovered more weapons and hundreds of ammunition. But the reason as to why he targeted Dunblane Primary School will never be known. He took the coward's way out. Rather than be arrested, Hamilton chose to take his own life. In the months following the massacre, the parents of the victims established the Snowdrop campaign, and they petitioned for tougher gun laws in the United Kingdom. Their petition amassed over 1 million signatures, and by the end of 1997, it was ruled that handguns were permanently banned in the United Kingdom, and tougher laws were put in place for any registration of weapons in the United Kingdom. It was made permanently illegal to own any handgun in the country. Because of this, the Dunblane Massacre remains the last school shooting to ever take place in the United Kingdom. But that does nothing to erase what happened on this day. In the years following the massacre, those who lost loved ones were left to deal with grief, questions as to why this happened, why it happened to them, and of course, what could have been. Those who died were children. They were little children just starting out in life, going to school, making friends, learning about who they wanted to be, what they wanted to be, going out to play, spending time with their parents and siblings. They died with their teacher on this day. They were deprived the chance to grow up, make careers, go on to university, fall in love, get married, have families of their own. All of that was taken away from them because of one selfish and vicious monster. That is the only term I can describe him. He was a monster for what he did to them. To this day, the Dunblane Massacre remains the deadliest school shooting to ever take place in the United Kingdom. There are memorials all across the community for the 16 children and their teacher. Gwen Mayer has gone down as a hero as she died protecting the children in her care. It was supposed to be a normal day of classes and activities, and instead, it transformed into the most horrific school shooting to ever take place in the history of the United Kingdom. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. My name is Anya, and we just looked at what happened on this day.